Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here. Welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. We are unfortunately pretty late.
Yeah.
And I apologize for my appearance and Mike's appearance, but we just had one hell of a week. But first of all, we only have 23 more episodes until 200.
Yep.
The big 2-0. So, yes, Mike and I have been suffering. Well, I started the whole thing. I had a very violent stomach virus, which basically incapacitated me from the middle of the week all the way through till Sunday-ish.
No, I thought it was Saturday.
Well, Saturday I was still in a little bit of pain. I mean, anyway, we've been out of commission for a lot of days, because then he caught it right after I did. He was the day after, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Still don't know how you caught it. I
don't know. It was like Saturday morning all the way to.
It's like you just can't help but being on top of me all the time.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta get to be on top sometimes.
Well, I thought I would be on top.
No, you can't. Anyway,
yeah.
There's been a lot of news though this week. From Andy Diggle and the writer. I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. Andy Diggle was writing Action Comics. He backed out due to personal reasons. And the writer for Green Lantern Corps as well as Red Lantern's backed out, but DC already made up for the Green Lantern books, and Tony S. Daniel is taking over the Action Comics story arc, but then he's leaving the book. Tons of gatefold covers have been revealed over the past couple of days, and the gatefold covers are awesome. They don't need the WTF. I don't even know why DC wanted to put that to begin with. They didn't need that. I mean, the covers are just awesome being called gate covers. I'm ready to buy almost every single one of them. They look really nice. Marvel announced that there's going to be a What If AVX 4-issue miniseries, which I don't understand why they need 4 issues for it.
When did you hear about this?
Around the same time that Marvel announced that there will be a Wave 2 to Marvel Now books starting in June and going or July. June or July, going all the way through until next year, meaning your book X Factor is probably going to be part of Wave 2.
Well,
when they relaunch. No. Wave 2 Marvel Now, when they end X Factor, they'll probably start it up again with number 1.
Oh, okay.
Most likely. So there's going to be a ton of Wave 2 books. Other news. There was a lot. There was so much stuff. You can go check out comicrelated.com for all the up-to-date news on what's been going on. I've been staying on top of a lot of stuff. I've been writing a lot of stuff also. So this is a lot of news that's coming out of the Big 2 this week, and it's really cool. Yes, and also, there's a new, maybe I missed it in the previous issue of Justice League, but there's another character that was introduced. But anyway, one piece of news for Dark Avenger Inc. I'm not going to make a video here, but there will be a video on Dark Avenger Inc. You guys are going to notice now, not right now though, but in the future, it's official. If you type in on your browser, www.darkavengerinc.com, it will hyperlink you to our Facebook page. Why? Because we at Dark Avenger Inc. officially own
our YouTube page.
Yes, our YouTube page.
You said Facebook.
Oh, our YouTube page. I'm sorry. It'll take you to our YouTube page. Because we officially bought the domain, the Dark Avenger Inc. crew. We've officially got the darkavengerinc.com, so to speak. So we officially have our website. There will be an official video I will post on Dark Avenger Inc. to put further detail into this. But we are all very, very excited about having our own website. Right now, though, all it's going to do, when you go on the website, it's going to slingshot you straight to our YouTube page. For now, don't worry. With a whole website, I'm very sure that we're going to have a lot of stuff, a lot of planning, but there will be a lot of things that we definitely can put on this page.
Yep.
But for right now, anyway, let's get into the comic review, which is late because we've been sick. This is for the week of the 20th. March 20th.
First day of spring.
First day of Spring's Comics, 2013. We got 2 books from IDW. First, the conclusion to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Foot Clan, issue number 4. The grand finale of how Oroku got resurrected is here. How Kaori brought him back is here. And spoiler alert here, we find out that Michelangelo can read Japanese.
Michelangelo can read Japanese?
Michelangelo started reading the
Since
book.
when?
Apparently, he's reading from the book. Let's see, where was it? Here. He was reading from the book of the book from the Foot Clan, and everybody's in shock. He's like, what? And Donatello says, Mikey, that book's written in Japanese. He's like, dude. And then the funny part is, wait, I just realized I can read more manga now.
Wow.
I can read Japanese. The artwork's really good, and that's very good because I believe this artist is moving into the mainstream Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book, starting the next story arc. There are some pieces of art that are but for the most part, Shredder's drawn really well. He draws people really well, and Splinter is drawn very well also. And yes, there is a fight. The Foot Clan wants that book back, and we find out why the Foot Clan wants that book back. But I'm not going to give that spoiler away until my in-depth review. But it turns out that Shredder wanted that book for a specific reason. He's trying to find something, or actually, I should say someone. But I won't say who. You can check out the in-depth review. I'll be shooting for Dark Avenger Inc. soon. But this was a spectacular book. I love the ending in the past where Krang brings what gives Shredder his immortality, but instead of serving Krang, he turns on him and says, we don't want you anymore. Our services to you are done. Go back to hell. And he sends him back, and he destroys the portal. And they basically think Krang's a demon. They don't realize he's from Dimensions X, and you know, the whole thing. They don't know that. They just consider him a demon because this is way back times.
Right.
So, yeah. Very cool stuff. And the Professor's final fate does not lie with the Turtles, actually. It lies with the Foot Clan, and that's kind of a little bit of a twist of fate, but who didn't see that coming from issue like 3? And speaking of the mainstream Turtles, issue number 20, Turtles vs. Krang, the most epic fight this year in the indie books so far, and we are only in March, and there's so many beautiful things coming our way. It was awesome. You got all the Turtles versus Krang, except for Raphael and Donatello. Raphael is on the battlefield fighting to make sure that the diversion is made, but I don't understand why anymore, because technically they should know the Turtles are there. And Donatello's working with Professor Honeycutt to finish the jammer device, which will disable all their weapons. While in our dimension, on Burnout Island, it turns out Cowrie has stolen some of the ooze that's been keeping the Krangs alive. And of course, one of the Utrums is dead because of it. So she steals this. She steals the ooze, kills the Utrum, and disappears. Something tells me Cowrie's looking for some immortality, possibly.
Oh yeah.
But it was an awesome, awesome fight, awesome artwork, great story, and an ending that's like, whoa. I'm not going to say what happens with the Fugitoid. You'll have to wait for that for my in-depth comic review if you really want spoilers on that. But I will say the Turtles get back home, and yeah, they mess up a moment between April and Casey that we've been waiting for since issue 1. Yeah, kind of. But Krang is still out there, and so is Shredder. So, I guess the Turtles can rest now, but they've got one huge fight on their hands at some point. Really awesome stuff. Loved it. I guess I don't want to give too many spoilers away on my reviews, but this was a worthwhile book. If you guys have not been reading the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, it's really good. Even if you're not a fan of the Turtles cartoon, this has absolutely nothing to do with it anymore. It is pushing away, if anything, from the cartoon, and it's embracing...
Which is good, because it gives like new readers, something to look forward to.
It's pushing away from that comedic cartoon, or even the recent day cartoons. It's pushing away from that, and it's embracing more of the comic book from the 1980s, and even going further and not even really fully embracing that. It's taking on its own entity while staying true to the comic book format of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not the cartoon. Other than the colored bandanas, not the cartoon at all. It's really awesome. I would definitely, if you guys have not jumped on this book yet, this should be volume 3. There are 2 other trade paperbacks out. This should be trade paperback 3, not volume 3. This is volume 5, I believe. But you can check out all this passed up in trade paperback form. The trade paperback for the Secret of the Foot Clan is coming out, I believe, in April. This should be coming out in trade paperback soon. Issue 21 starts a brand new story arc with a brand new team of people. I would definitely say to check it out. I really would say to check it out.
Yeah, based on what I saw, I would say so myself.
The most epic fight happened in this issue alone. Spectacular, action-packed, awesomeness. And now we're going into the big 2. Batman Beyond Unlimited issue 14. First story arc is more of an epilogue. Donna's brother dies, or Dana, D-A-N-A, Dana, right?
Dana, yeah.
Dana. Dana's brother dies, and spoiler alert here, his liver goes to Bruce Wayne because they match. And Dana's father is actually the one, and mother signed away the rights for him to have his liver removed. You get a background story on him, even though he's kind of gone now. Terry's really beaten up bad. I'm not too much of a fan of the artwork here, but what can I say? And also Dana reveals that she knows that Terry and Bruce were, well, Bruce was Batman, and that
looks pretty good.
It's okay. And that Terry is Batman, and she explains how she figured it out. She says she'll keep the secret, yada yada. And then the next part to the Batman Beyond Unlimited part, the Batman Unlimited part, is going to be considered Under the Cloud, the next chapter, which hopefully will be a brand new story. We then go into my favorite part of this book, the Superman Beyond part. And now we're getting the backup story to how Superman saved the, I keep forgetting the name of these, the aliens, but they end up saving him. And then Superman finds out that the adults were killed. The ones that he saved were killed by the Trillions. I know that the race that was the dominant race, this race here, are the Trillions. I just can't remember the other one. The Trillions are these guys, and they're ready to blow up the planet just to make sure that the they don't lose to the others. And
would you excuse me?
Yeah, go ahead. And Superman basically is now with the children that he saved years back. So next part is called Genocide, and this is crazy. The story that's coming out of this is absolutely insane. You don't know whose side is right, and it's like Superman shouldn't have even interfered in the first place. We then go to Flash Drive, which is basically the Justice League Beyond. And that introduces the new Flash to the Justice League.
There's always something going on.
And her services. And she joins Batman, and it turns out, big spoiler here, that all the previous Flashes are in her head, and they're talking through her. And it was funny because Wally actually says one thing: it's tradition to race the Flash, and that's how that ends. Long story short, there's a huge fight with the Flash, but you could read that in the that part if you choose, and then there's an epilogue also. I don't know, I really wasn't too interested in this Justice League Beyond story, so I kind of like skimmed it more than read it. Kind of like the epilogue to the Batman Beyond, I skimmed it more than read it. The Superman Beyond is what I read, and then moved on to the next book. So, up to you guys. I never recommend books that are digital first because you can get certain stories, because there's 3 stories in one here, you can get certain issues on their own without having to buy this entire book. But once again, it's up to you guys. I really enjoy it, and I'll be continuing to buy Batman Beyond Unlimited for several reasons. Maybe the next Batman Beyond story will be really good. Maybe the next Justice League Beyond story will be good. Maybe the next Superman Beyond... Well, I know the next Superman Beyond story is going to be good. So, either way, Okay, Green Lantern New Guardians issue number 18. It focuses on Carol, but Voltoon, the first Lantern, actually sidetracks to Larfleeze, whom no matter what scenario he puts Larfleeze in, he's still his Orange Lantern self, the mind. However, we do get to see a glimpse of his family that he lost. And even though Voltoon gave them back to him, he's still an Orange Lantern. He's still very greedy.
Yeah, because that's what it is, greedy.
Yeah. We then find he goes into Saint Walker's mind and changes it so that instead of being a Blue Lantern, he's a Green Lantern. And this is right before the wrath of the Third Army. And yeah, you get interruptions with Carol Ferris, you know, what he's changed with her. And you really, you know, it's interesting, while at the same time very anime drawn. I will say that. I like the artwork. While back in Saint Walker's fantasy, when Voltoon tries to give him despair to kind of get some emotion out of him, in the end, Saint Walker just turns right back into a Blue Lantern and saves the day. And like everybody else, he's Voltoon, or however you pronounce his name, underestimated Saint Walker. And I think everybody in the universe has underestimated him. I think he's one of the more powerful Lanterns right now, next to Kyle Rayner, who's a White Lantern. And even Kyle Rayner fell to the wrath of the First Lantern. So far, the only one that's been immune to that is Saint Walker, who's actually become what he originally was. And he even tries to give Larfleeze, like, if he became a Blue Lantern, and he just breaks out. He's like, "Get away from me, you leech. My emotions are mine." And he just gives up. He actually says, "I give up. I now realize the Orange Lantern didn't make you this way. The Lantern found you because of who you are." And then he goes into Carol's mind, and Carol actually becomes a Star Sapphire again, but she's able to actually evade Voltoon, and it actually says this is continued in Red Lanterns issue 18, which comes out this Wednesday. So this book actually does connect into Red Lanterns, because he says, "I need more power, I need rage." And that's where it ends. That's the long and short of it. Like I said, I left out the Carol parts. You can read that yourself. This book was pretty good. Definitely one of the stronger out of all the Lantern books, next to Green Lantern being the strongest so far this month. This definitely follows behind it. We'll see Red Lanterns next week if that proves to be as strong as this, because I really wasn't too into Green Lantern Corps last week. It just didn't do anything.
Like the story was like...
It was like, it's what would happen if Jon Stewart was, and then what would happen
if like different scenarios.
Fatality was. Yeah, it's just different scenarios. This wasn't different scenarios. This was different scenarios, but the New Guardians are a lot stronger than the regular.
Which is kind of
funny.
Yeah.
So they kind of broke out of their scenarios and became what they were supposed to become, regardless.
Exactly.
Except Larfleeze, who's always been greedy, apparently.
Well, yeah.
So I like this book. I like the artwork in it. I'd definitely say to check this book out. This is part 7 of the Wrath of the First Lantern. It's all going to end at issue 20, I believe, anyway. So 2 more issues from each book, and we're done. Pick this up because it's a jumping on point. Justice League, issue 18, which introduced, unless I missed it during the Throne of Atlantis, because they did make mention of that, the new Atom, which we get her name here. That I know we do get here. And her name is Rhonda Pinda. So, basically this book is the Grid. They're doing what basically the Avengers did in the Marvel U. They're going to have a backup team, and they hold tryouts. And a lot of people say no, and you could see that the Death in the Family kind of moves in here, because the Nightwing Batman part where Nightwing's like, "I only came because I thought it was an emergency," and Batman's about to say, you know, "We're here to, you know, we want you on the League," he just goes, "No," in a very stern way. Yeah, no.
Why?
And that's all we get. And then Platinum goes kind of ape wild. And in the end, 3 people are chosen so far. And that is Element Woman, the Atom, obviously, and Firestorm, because Firestorm is ending, so they're putting Firestorm in another book. Any book that ends, they try to get some characters and put them in other books. This way they're not completely forgotten. And from what the rumors are, 6 more DC books are going to be canceled, and 6 more are going to start up.
Well, I hope it's not the ones that I'm reading.
You're only reading Green Arrow.
And Justice League Dark.
Don't be too surprised.
Well, I'm just saying.
And then it ends leading into the next story arc, which goes under the grid.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, next, the road to the Trinity War begins. Now, this is where I kind of start to say, maybe the Trinity War, that means it's connecting to Justice League of America. Should I be reading Justice League, even though I'm not reading Justice League of America? I'm not picking up Justice League of America. Too much money to put in, even though this is supposed to be a team that rivals the Justice League. I'm not interested in the team of people, so yeah. And then the backup story is the Shazam, and you get the first look at Black Adam, and everybody wants it to get its own book. And don't be too surprised if in one of the 6 new books we get Shazam, because we probably will. And we also see I forgot how you pronounce his name, Dr. Sivan, and the 7 sins at the very end. So yeah, no Shazam in this part. Interesting. We'll see where this goes. We find out that Cyborg actually takes in so much data that it's very hard for him to concentrate or stay focused on things. He actually is the grid. The grid is basically going to be like an emergency network where he calls upon people when they're needed for the Justice League. So, something of interest. I'll see if I get the next issue. I really have to think about it because I'm not too sure I'm very committed to this Trinity War thing, because that would involve getting Justice League, the Trinity War, plus Justice League of America possibly, and I don't know if I'm willing to do that just yet. We'll see. There's always next month. And there's always books that are being dropped here, there, and everywhere, so I probably wouldn't. If I got Justice League, Mike would probably be the one that reads it and be reading it, because I'm not interested. Nightwing issue 18. I did get to read Red Hood and the Outlaws issue 18 thanks to my very good friend Philly Superman. He's a really great guy. He watches every single live show. Always helping out us on Dark Avenger, always there, always commenting, always willing to lend a hand. He's a great guy. I want to thank him so much for actually giving me the ability to read it. Red Hood and the Outlaws is definitely a book if you find it, because it's sold out on Midtown. Issue 18, get it. Really good. Has nothing to do with Requiem, though. Me and Philly Superman kind of made fun of that. His name is Jay. Me and Jay kind of were making fun of that, poking fun that it has nothing to do with Damien. It's more of a Death in the Family fallout, or a continuation of the Death in the Family fallout. But it was just so good. I wish I would have grabbed that issue, and I think because of issue 18, I will be coming into issue 19. I will be getting it in book form, because it looks like it's going to really be picking up. And if you can get your hands on issue 18, get it. Really good. Really good. Nightwing issue 18, however, it was okay compared. It's also one per customer. It's also sold out. And it is the Fallout. This is more of a Requiem tie-in, because this involves the actual death of Damian Wayne and how Dick is coping with it. Dick is still questioning whether he should be so trusting of his friends and people. And I'm not a fan of the artwork. I thought I was, but after reading this, I'm kind of not too much. I mean, you got Dick in his 5 o'clock shadow, and I mean, other than the Batman and and Nightwing part, like here, yeah, it's kind of And you get to see Dick kind of getting closer to Sonya without getting close to her. And Batman finds out about the collector's selling, or the dealer who's auctioning off his father's costume from Haley's Circus. He shows up, and his goal was to get the suit, but in the end he ended up saving a bunch of people, and that's where the whole realization he says to Damien, because he goes back to Damien's grave, comes in saying, you know, you were right, I know what makes me who I am, and I'm not going to change that at all. And then the big finale happens. He finds out something from his past might not exactly be gone yet. What that is, you'll have to read this issue to find out. However, this is definitely leading into the next story arc. And I hope after the next story arc we can move away from Nightwing's past and move forward to his future and his present, because this does connect kind of to his past, and you know he's going to embark on a... It says new friends, new foes, the hunt begins. I'm not going to say for what. You can check out my in-depth review where I will reveal the last page of this book. As a spoiler at the very end of the review, of course. But this was an okay book. Artwork was alright. Definitely worth the last page, because now I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next in Nightwing. But, yeah, it's just really good and heartfelt. The Requiem books, minus Red Hood and the Outlaws, which is more of a tie-in to the Death in the Family, have all been really good that I've read. I mean, I'm not reading Batgirl, I'm not reading World's Finest or anything else that's connected to it, but the books that are connected to it are really good so far. Batman and Robin being the most spot-on book so far, I think, in my opinion, even though there's very little dialogue. So yeah, Nightwing. Something for you guys to maybe check out. It was okay. Red Hood and the Outlaws, I definitely recommend issue 18. I wish I had issue 18 to show you guys. I'll probably end up putting it on my digital review for the end of the month. We have one more week to go still before I can do my weekly review. And with that, we are at 35 seconds, so we'll be right back after these messages.
Yep.
Yeah, there's only going to be one... one commercial break this time, one commercial in the commercial break. Again, we're waiting on a few other commercials to be finished, a few commercials to be edited, and we have a few that we're still editing, so eventually there will be more commercials, but for right now we only have one, so we'll be right back after these messages. Big Bad Toy Store, the #1 source for all your figure and toy buying needs and more. They accept all major credit cards and PayPal with no money down until your order leaves the warehouse. Click the link in the description below to start your shopping experience today. And we're back. Okay, and we're now at Marvel for the rest of the way. And wow, there's a lot of Marvel books. Indestructible Hulk #5, the grand finale to the whole underwater adventure, and I couldn't be any more done with this book than right now. I'm just not held by this book at all anymore. It's not the writer. I guess I just can't really grasp the whole Bruce Banner, who's the logical one, and then he turns into the Hulk. You know, and it's not even really like the Hulk anymore. He's just a grunting, growling kind of character, and you'll see more of that in Avengers. He doesn't even go like Hulk Smash or Hulk anything anymore. It's more of along the lines of Rrr.
It's like still between Bruce Banner and Hulk things still, or is it like...
No.
So technically it's going in a new...
And the only funny part is where the woman kisses the Hulk and the Hulk goes back to Bruce Banner, and Bruce is like, didn't we end on this note? Didn't I leave you on this note? And yeah. So, I'm just not interested in the Indestructible Hulk, I guess. It's just not my cup of tea. So with this issue, I will be bidding farewell to the Green Goliath. And maybe in a future story arc I'll come back to Indestructible Hulk, but for right now I'm just not interested at all in the Indestructible Hulk. And the only reason I actually got this issue was because of this being the final part to the story, or else I probably wouldn't have even bought that. Superior Spider-Man issue 6 was more of a straightforward book too. Jester and Screwball make fun of Spider-Man. They irk him to, like, first they break into Jameson's office and make him look like a fool. Jameson calls in Doc Ock Spidey. Doc Ock Spidey comes in. While somewhere else the Avengers are debating whether to kick Spider-Man, whether they need to talk to Spider-Man, I shouldn't say kick him out, or not. Because of late he's been very, yeah. And Wolverine's the only one that's backing up Spider-Man at this point. And, of course, the real Spidey, Pete, is in Doc Ock's head. And Doc Ock's having memories of when he was being bullied. So, he goes to Jameson, and in the end he agrees with Jameson that he's going to rid the New York of the Jester and Screwball problem. The internal artwork is by Humberto Ramos, and it's done pretty well. I'm not a huge Humberto Ramos fan, anybody can tell you that, but he does pretty good work. Long story short, Jester pushes the envelope a bit too far, and let's just say Doc Ock loses control. Yeah.
Wow.
And even Pete's like, my God, Otto, what have you done? And let's just say Screwball and Jester aren't exactly in the... Yeah. Mary Jane is starting to come around. She's like, Peter, there's no way that's Peter. And Cap and Wolverine are watching, and Cap's like, well... And Wolverine's like, you're right, we gotta bring him in. Next issue, Spider-Man versus the Avengers. Sorry, I have something in my nose, and it's driving me nuts. So, straightforward book. Doc Ock lost control.
And it gave you a little origin story.
He really screwed up Screwball and Jester. He messed them up bad by the end of this issue. So, can't wait for next issue. Avengers issue 8, the Star brand is here. And my question is, why did the Avengers get so brash at a certain point? Cap and the Avengers are so nice to this kid. At the beginning of the book, they're like, we're here to help you, we want to help, he's just a boy, are you hurt? Cap reaches out to him, he's like, what's your name? The kid's like, my name's Kevin, and then he freaks out because he sees all the death around him, and he has like this huge explosion, so to speak, and he sends the Hulk into outer space, and all of a sudden, those kind, nice Avengers become these put your hands on the ground and surrender. I mean, even Thor throws Mjolnir at this kid. He had an explosion. He didn't do it on purpose, and he didn't send the Hulk into space on purpose. And the Avengers just attack him all of a sudden then.
Wow.
And even Captain Marvel, who finds Hulk in space, she just humbles him down at Star brand, and they're all trying to subdue him. And that's where Black Mask jumps in, and he's like, and he explains to Kevin what's going on, and he actually takes Kevin away from the mayhem, and Captain Universe fades away kind of, and it becomes the woman again, Tamara. And this is the page where Black Mask explains everything to Starbrand, or Kevin, and he gets his costume. And it turns out there's only one place to go where they can fix things. And the Avengers find out, and then we find out, and it's Mars. It involves X-Null. Who didn't see that coming? You know what? When it comes to these Marvel books, I'm not surprised that this story arc goes all the way through to issue 12 and then they move on. Because they're doing it in, oh god, what book? They're doing it in Captain America. They're doing it in Thor. Why not do it in an Avenger book too? They're probably going to go to issue 12, if not beyond, with this whole space story before they finally move forward and do a different thing. I'll see if I'm coming back for issue 9, but to be honest, at a $3.99 price tag, to keep this up the whole story for 12 issues, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's up to you guys with the Avengers. I mean, I did enjoy the action in this book, but I don't know. I might drop it and then come back when this whole stars and Mars thing is over with and done. Deadpool issue number 6, the grand finale. Deadpool versus George Washington, and I'm not going to tell you how the other presidents died because there were 5 others, and there was a joke about them, but you got to read this book to find out what happened to them, because it's just too funny. So it turns out that I want to make sure about what her name was first. What was her name? Maybe it's in the beginning of the book. Agent Preston. She was dead at the beginning of the book, but not. We'll explain what happens to Agent Preston towards the end. So Deadpool goes through the bubble that George Washington created, and basically anybody who steps through the portal dies, but we all know Deadpool regenerates. We get to see something here that I guess will be teased at a future story arc, because there is something that Doctor Strange also says that's probably a teaser to another future story arc. But Deadpool gets up, and it's just the epic fight between Deadpool and George Washington. And in the end, we all know that Deadpool won. And we finally get to see... The Avengers actually commend Deadpool, but then right away Captain America's like, that's so top secret. It's above top secret. And, yeah, Deadpool vows revenge against... what agent was this? Agent Kilgore, was it? I think it's Gorman. He won't give Deadpool the money that was promised him by Agent Preston if because Preston was killed and everything that happened, and he swears that he better keep an eye on his 20 eyes behind his back, because at some point Deadpool is going to come for him and he's going to be begging to give Deadpool the money that he deserves. And then we find out, and I'm spoiling the last page here, we find out that Agent Preston is now one of the voices and attached to Deadpool's brain.
Oh, wow. That's
what Michael did. He put her inside Deadpool's mind to keep her alive.
Well, I must say that was a brilliant idea. Oh, you mean that character, Michael? Oh, yeah.
The necromancer, Michael. Not you. You're not that smart.
Hey.
So yes, it was a really good book, and I left a lot out for a reason. You definitely should be reading Deadpool. It was a fun book. I enjoyed it immensely. Mark Waid continues his epicness with Daredevil issue 24. Matt hasn't been Daredevil for a while. He's been by Foggy's side in the hospital. The whole time Foggy's been in the hospital lately. So Daredevil's kind of gone missing. And Foggy's like, dude, you got to get out there or as Daredevil or go talk to Kristen. So he ends up going to talk to Kristen, and Kristen, long story short, says, I'm not standing in your shadow. I need to be the star of my own life, so I can't be with you. And Matt's actually fine with that. And then we find out that Hank Pym's been doing some research because Matt's trying to figure out who sent all this and who's doing all this to him and why. And then we also find out that they can't pinpoint where the cancer is on Foggy, but Hank had an idea. He's like, ask if he knows the Giants, and that's where they go into finding out that it could be Ewing's sarcoma, a bone tumor, in favor of the torso. So yeah, if it didn't spread, it's 70% chance he'll live. If it did spread, 10% chance. So poor Foggy's getting bad news left and right. So he sends Matt back to work to check out, just to go back to work. And it turns out that the person that's been sending the things after Daredevil, and by the way, we do get a first look at that in the first 2 pages. We get a glimpse of who it is and why he's sending all these things after Matt. Well, not why, but who the person is. And it turns out the new thing, the blind humans didn't work, so this time he sent blind dogs with the supersonic abilities, just like Daredevil. And he makes quick work of the dogs, and Hank Pym comes in and does cleanup work. And then the last page, Matt's back at the hospital with Foggy, but in the last page we find out there's somebody who might be able to help Matt. Somebody who knows who's been sending all this stuff after Daredevil. To be continued. And I left a bunch of dialogue out for a reason. I want you guys to read this because this book is a spectacular book. I never in a million years would have thought I would be enjoying a Daredevil story, and Mark Waid just convinced me otherwise. Daredevil is a spectacular series, and you guys should absolutely be on top of this book since issue 22, I believe, where it was a perfect jumping on point. This is a awesome book. I'm loving every single issue I'm reading of Daredevil. Spectacular. Definitely something to check out. Another good book is The New Avengers, issue 4. Captain America is no longer part of the New Avengers because he's not willing to destroy a world. But these guys are. And the whole beginning of the book is them creating a bomb, or Doctor Strange has his own method which would kill him, and Tony Stark is using the sun. He's creating a weapon. He's like, since we're going, where was it?
In space?
No. He said something. He was making... Oh, I figured if our situation is forcing me to get back into the arms business, why not go exotic? And he's basically going to use the sun to destroy the other Earth. And that's where then Doctor Strange's method comes in. And then Ellis Island, now apparently, the incursion, the incursion's about to happen, and there's another Earth over our Earth. And they decide to go to the other Earth, and yeah, the other Earth is kind of ruled by Magneto.
Nice.
It's ruled by Magneto. That was one of the preview pages, I believe. What?
That one.
And Galactus shows up.
That's really
and
awesome.
He's trying to. He devourer of Earths or planets or whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's.
So
Galactus.
they decide they want to help the people on that planet in the end, but then Terax shows up. I want to make sure I said his name right, because I've never read anything with him in it before. Yeah. Terax shows up and tells them, look, consider this a gift. We're letting your world live and destroying this one instead. Be happy, or, you could fight.
He looks like Darkseid a little bit, doesn't he?
And, pretend like you'll win. And I love the last page. What?
Doesn't he look like Darkseid?
He does look like Darkseid, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of does.
So, he's like, it's up to you. What do you want to do? I'm sorry, I'm spoiling the last page here, too, because it's just epic. It's like, yeah, right, boom. They're not going to let that world fall, either. So, I don't know why they even bothered getting rid of Captain America, because they're not going to destroy that world, either. They just go after Terax to try to save the world. To be continued in the next issue. I'm liking the New Avengers. I've been liking this way more than Avengers. And I already dropped Secret Avengers. And Young Avengers I'm with. This is the only Avenger book that I could say that 100% I'm liking it. And I can't wait to see the whole Civil War thing that's going to be going on with Black Panther and Namor. They're going to go to war. The Cold War is going to happen in this book. So I'm really liking New Avengers. This is definitely a book I will not be dropping. I would definitely recommend out of all the Avenger books, you check this book out first. Although a lot of people might be like, well, that's how I feel about Avengers, and a lot of other people are loving it. So it all depends.
But we all have different opinions.
And on one's taste.
Exactly.
It all depends on one's taste. Savage Wolverine 3 is a straight up Amadeus Cho finds out everything there is to know about how the natives got there, like how they're alive, and how the island came to be, and about the Dark Walker, and there's something to do with aliens possibly. So, and then he finds out that there are, that Wolverine and Shanna are on the island, and he's hoping that it doesn't come to a fight, but he wants to find them. So, one guy actually comes in peace. We saw this in the preview, and then Shanna comes falling through the trees, and the guy dies, but it's by accident. And then they attack. And this is an awesome splash page, and I want you guys to take note that Frank Cho actually signed the splash page on the bottom. He actually signs it at the very bottom.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if this will be a poster at some point, because usually when there's a signature, that means poster. But if this is a poster, shoot, I'd get it. I don't think I'd put it on a wall, but I'd definitely get it. It's an awesome picture. But then, of course, a warrior falls. I'm not going to say who. And Amadeus Cho says he wants the warrior saved. And Wolverine goes full... Well, I just spoiled it. Yeah, Shanna gets it right in the gut. And Amadeus Cho demands that if there's a way to save her, and then, of course, Wolverine, for the third time in 3 issues, gets knocked off a cliff and goes falling to his doom. Wow. And we all know he has a healing factor, so he's not going to die, and he doesn't die. But, I mean, in every issue so far, poor Logan's been falling out of the sky because of something. In the first issue, he fell out of the sky because of the pterodactyl letting him go. In the second issue... I can't even remember what happened.
Actually, Avengers vs. X-Men, where he was...
Nah, Savage Wolverine only.
But
second issue, second issue he goes falling out of the sky, and now third issue he goes falling out of the sky off a cliff again. So Cho takes Shanna back to the village. He wants them to try to save her, and then Wolverine says, "That's it. They had their shot. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna kill every last one of blank on this island." Yeah, he ain't too happy. And it's to be continued. Poor Wolverine. Every issue, he's just falling out of off something to his doom. If he was human, he'd be dead 3 times over already. But I'm liking Savage Wolverine. And I definitely leave it up to you guys. But I'm loving this series. If you like seeing Wolverine falling a lot, yeah. Here you go. Finally, I can take a rest from talking. Oh my god.
Alright, X Factor, issue number 253, Hell on Earth War, Part 4. This was a really excellent issue. I mean, it's just...
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, there's just...
Yeah, this book's definitely going to be in Marvel Now Wave 2. It has to be. I mean, there's no way they're not going to continue this book or let it end.
No doubt about it. Technically...
No about it. I doubt it. No. About that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're dealing with the whole thing that happened with the portal.
I don't understand how I epic failed that.
Yeah, this page I really liked. Of the splash page of this. You know, the war of what they might face on Earth. So, technically, they're talking about Tyre. And he meets up with a woman who I will not tell. I don't want to spoil it here. I will say that in my in-depth comic review. And let's just say everything just goes haywire. And there's a big fight scene. And yet again, they're doing the whole thing of like you would be reading a book. But not that much like in the last issue. And with all that fight scene, there's Guido, who does return, and I think he might be turning points, meaning he might be good or bad. I mean, I'm not too sure about that.
They're not gonna keep Guido bad. I'm sorry. If he's a good guy, I think that he's gonna,
yeah.
even if he used to be a good guy, he could go back.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing from the next issue cover, their next stop is New York.
Oh joy!
In the next X Factor book, but it was really excellent. I did leave a lot of stuff out because I am going to do an in-depth review of this.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff coming up from me and Mike on Dark Avenger Inc. the next 24 hours. Because I'm going to, straight after we record this, I'm going straight to the computer. I'm going to put it in the editing program, put it together, and I'm going to be uploading this. It should be up by mid tonight, and then right after that, I'm switching over to Dark Avenger Inc. and you're just going to see an overflow of videos on Dark Avenger Inc.
But I do recommend you pick up this book, and that's all for me this week.
Nova Issue 2. Book of the Week, tie. If not Book of the Week. I don't know why I didn't put this first. Is it too late?
It's up to you. Going once, going twice.
I'll put it now and it's fine. It's Book of the Week. Loved it. Loved it. Sam wakes up to Rocket Raccoon and, oh God, I forget her name. Why do I forget names? And he said her name in the beginning though, so I could just go like this and go,
and go looking.
I could go looking and I'm not fine. That's the great thing.
Well, we've had like a rough week, sort of, and it's been like...
Oh, Gamora.
Oh.
Ha!
I didn't doubt it, I said...
But the helmet was left. He runs to somebody for help. The nurse takes him back to the room and they're gone already. So, he leaves the hospital, kicks the helmet. Helmet lands far away and, you know, helmet shoots off blue light. Kid interested in blue light goes back to the helmet, picks it up. Babu! New Nova. And it turns out Sam's father left him a message. And it turns out his father wasn't so much of a tall tale teller. Say that 3 times fast.
Tall tale teller.
And he takes the helmet off, and for the rest of the issue, as when he's normal, he's like looking towards the stars, you know, kind of out there, and he's like trying to get the message to replay in the helmet, and then he's like, what am I supposed to do? And then he's like, fine, I guess I'm going to have to put it on again. Puts the helmet on again. He remembers all the stories his dad told. The mother even sees him flying around. And he just takes off like a rocket out of his town, symbolism, and out into space. This was an epic splash page. And all the way to the moon, where I don't have to worry about spoilers because we saw the preview to issue 3 right to the Watcher's front door.
I never saw the Watcher's eyes.
Yeah, Ed McGuinness kind of drew the Watcher more alien eyes.
Yeah.
More like the eyes. And that's the long and short of it. So, to be continued in the next issue, and I really liked it, and I left out a bunch of dialogue here and there and everywhere, so you could definitely check that out. My pick of the week. I loved it. Nova. Spectacular. No, actually, pick of the month goes, of course, the best book of the month goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Foot Clan, because the whole Mikey knowing Japanese.
Yeah.
But this is book of the week. Turtles are book of the month. This is book of the week. And finally, with 2 minutes left, all new X-Men issue number 9. It's the new X-Men. It's the young X-Men's training day, and Kitty is the professor, let's not forget. And they don't do so well against the Sentinels. Nobody wants to listen to Cyclops. Everybody's doing their own thing. And then Iceman, young Iceman, tries to save Kitty without knowing that her power is to phase. Yeah, so things don't go too well in the Danger Room. And then, of course, Jean, with her new ability to look into people's minds, invades Scott's mind and goes, who's Mystique? And that's where Kitty goes nuts and goes, what do you mean Mystique? What happened? Here in the school? He's like, so I'm not allowed to have my own thoughts anymore, huh? And then Jean's like, who is she? Kitty's like, when did this happen? And Scott just walks off. And then you just see Jean standing there all stern going, Mystique. So I have a feeling Mystique and Jean have a date at some point. While on the raft, Mystique, in disguise, with Sabretooth go to break somebody else out. And we got to see her in, I believe, another book. Or we're going to see her in another book. And that is Lady Mastermind. So they broke her out. So her plan's coming to fruition, so to speak. And Lady Mastermind has the ability to cast things. And she actually casts the Marvel Zombies. Ha ha. Nudge, nudge to the Marvel Zombies. And Hank, this is why I think Angel is going to be the one that switches teams, because Hank, he goes to Beast and he's like, I don't see any like genocide going on here. I see things, you know, they're bad, but they're not like the way you said it. And he's like, so what happens if we get pushed? He's like, then what? They're like, unless they're at our door, we don't push back. He's like, I brought you here to avoid a mutant genocide. And Angel's just not buying it. I think Angel's starting to see that Scott's way is kind of the way he would have gone. And that's where Kitty kind of approaches Scott with the whole Mystique. You bumped into Mystique and you didn't tell someone? He's like, I don't have to. You have Jean now. He's like, how did Mystique even know you were? And he's like, you'll have to... Okay, to be continued in 2 seconds. Just push the button real quick, Mike, and then we'll be right back. But basically, as Scott's about to explain what happens with Mystique, something else happens. And hang on 2 seconds. Okay, what happened was the original X-Men show up. And if you guys have been reading the Uncanny X-Men, this book ends exactly where the Uncanny X-Men book ended, with Cyclops, Magic, Magneto, and Emma Frost showing up at Wolverine's school's doorstep, and Cyclops going, to me, my X-Men. So I'm guessing this is to be continued in Uncanny X-Men as well as All New X-Men issue 10. I'm guessing these two books are going to have... Why is there something in there you can have? No crumb.
Don't throw it on me.
So, I guess All New X-Men and Uncanny X-Men are going to have a tie-in together for a bit. But it seems that All New X-Men and Uncanny X-Men have been kind of closely knit since both of them started. So, yeah, so next issue, I guess you could consider the next part to this story to be continued in Uncanny X-Men, and then come back to All New X-Men to see what happens next in All New X-Men. And that's it for this week, guys. So with that, we're done.
You're gonna have to get up again.
You have to get up again. I told you not to sit down.
Later, guys.
Goodbye, guys, for you. And you don't even have to have the counter on at this point.
Alright.
Anyway, don't forget to check out comicrelated.com as well as bkbn.net for all your comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget to check out darkavengerinc.com for all of our group videos and for all the in-depth reviews that me and Mike will be doing, or me, I do comic reviews with spoilers at the very end. Reviews for all our comic reviews and our group comic reviews there. Big things coming for darkavengering.com. Promise you guys that. Anyway, All New X-Men issue 9. Awesome. Definitely check it out. Nova issue 2, my book of the week. Definitely check it out. X Factor issue number 253.
Awesome issue. Next destination, New York. Can't wait for that.
Savage Wolverine 3. If Wolverine doesn't stop falling out of things, he's going to start getting some brain damage, but definitely up to you guys. I like it. New Avengers issue number 4. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Really good. Daredevil issue 24. You guys should be reading this book. It's spectacular. One of my favorite Marvel books. Daredevil issue 6 was really good. Definitely something to check out. Avengers issue 8. I leave up to you guys. I don't know if I'm coming back for issue 9. Superior Spider-Man issue 6. Straightforward. Doc Ock loses it finally. Indestructible Hulk 5. I'm done. Up to you guys. Nightwing issue 18 was okay. Up to you guys. Definitely check out Red Hood and the Outlaws issue 18. Something really good in that book. I definitely recommend that. Justice League of America issue 18. Justice League, not of America. Justice League issue 18. Leading into Off the Grid, which is starting up in issue 19. Definitely something to check out. Green Lantern New Guardians issue 18, one of the better of the tie-ins to the whole Wrath of the First Lantern. Definitely something to check out. Batman Beyond Unlimited issue 14. I leave up to you guys. I love it. My book of the month, as always, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 20. Definitely always on my top recommendation. This gets the Dark Avenger stamp of awesomeness and recommendationness. And then, of course, the Secret History of the Foot Clan issue 4 up for. Definitely something to check out as well. Next month starts, I believe, the Villain micro series. Also, you see the figures above me. Iron Patriot is coming very soon, probably tomorrow. White Lantern Flash will come after the Classic Horned Iron Man and Heroic Age Iron Man, Classic Horned Iron Man also this week. Heroic Age Iron Man probably next week, and then White Lantern Flash, and I'll have a bunch of other things.
And we got a Yoda right up there.
And yes, if you didn't check out the Loot Crate unboxing, you can check it there, and then you'll see where we got Yoda. I'll have a link in the description to Loot Crate and a bunch of other things. I'm still working on links, and I know I didn't do descriptions for the other reviews yet. I will do that. Guys, I have to get the videos that we missed over the past week, plus last week's videos, up first, shot and uploaded first. Once all the videos are uploaded, I will go back to fixing the description on the review videos. For right now, though, there probably won't be a description for this video yet. Please bear with me. I have to catch up on the videos for Ink now. Plus, I have videos to catch up on this channel. I have two one I have to shoot, one I have to catch up on. And then once I catch up on everything, I will come back and put a description to this video. So just keep checking back regularly until... or I'll probably post something in the... what do you call those? The feed. I'll post in the feed when I put the description for this video up. But please bear with me. There are a lot of videos myself and Mike have to shoot for Ink, and a lot of videos that we have to upload for Ink, and then there's 2 other videos I have to shoot and upload for Dark Avenger for this channel. Also, Comics Point 3, we won't be doing episode 3 this week. It'll be next week, and on Saturday that we'll shoot it. But there's a lot of stuff and a lot of things that we have to shoot and upload still, so please bear with me. I don't believe there'll be a description up until close to the end of the week. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. I will see you guys really soon on the next comic review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.